everybody. I'm Steph.
I'm Michael. And I'm Senor Azul.
And we have a top 10 for you today.
I didn't play 10 games last month.
Alright, you're just here for the fun.
I played one game.
Alright, so you have a top 1.
Top 1 game played in September. Guess what I played?
No, that's a surprise.
I played Jobu.
Hey, this is supposed to be a surprise.
Oh, I'm not good at surprises.
Oh my god.
Guess who won?
Me.
If by me you mean Senor Azul, you would be correct. Because this was blue and wins at Shobu. This guy.
Alright, so that was your favorite game of the month. Spoiler.
Oh, wait, not time for that?
No.
Oh, how does this work? I haven't done a top 10. I'm like, I got one. Boom. And he's just out at that point.
I guess you're done.
Done.
But Michael and I have a top 10.
Yeah, we have a top 10.
We learned enough games.
We did learn enough games.
And there were a lot of good ones, too.
I'm jealous. Yeah, well, you can play sometime later, Senor Azul.
Yeah.
But for now, we will let you say goodbye, and we were going to do our top 10.
Is this on your list? I will do honorary mention if not.
No, it's on my list.
Oh,
Why?
right.
It's on my, yeah.
Then good.
Yeah, it's on my list.
Good.
That's what you did. You did the arm thing. Good.
All right. Well, I don't actually know your list, so hopefully it's different than mine.
And we don't have cool graphics and everything because I'm down here. Usually when I'm upstairs, I do all the links and everything, and then she has all the graphics ready to go. And
Dan put in a Shobu link for us, so.
Oh, that's good. Thank you, Dan.
Thanks,
Dan.
Mr. Azul's.
He's like my godfather. You know, he like made it so like gave Dave the idea to like birth me.
Yeah.
Except not birth me, but like just the idea. Nothing crazy, like sock donation or something.
Right. Sock donation.
He didn't like put me up for adoption, is what I mean.
Oh, okay, fine, fair enough. All right, so should we start with your number 10?
Yeah. Bye, Senor Azul. Bye.
Aw. I guess he's going to the sock room.
To the sock drawer.
It's past his bedtime.
I don't live in a drawer, man. So, my number 10. Oh, look, I have 2 hands. My number...
I don't.
You don't have 2 hands? Hand check. Number 10. My number 10 is Dreadful Circus.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I knew that'd surprise you.
That was surprising.
Yeah.
I rated it pretty
Who's that
highly.
by?
Oh.
I don't have my publisher list.
No, that's Portal.
Oh yeah. So this was somewhat of a surprise. James and Susan came over. We played Dreadful Circus. It has a ton of colors. I mean, the colors are beautiful in this game.
It's vivid.
Black, dark black backgrounds with
Colors.
red and orange and yellow and green and aqua and blue and indigo and
all the
purple
colors.
and pink, and it's a really cool set/tableau collection sort of mechanic. And you're trying to collect money and tickets behind your screen. And so you're trying to collect these tickets and whatnot in order to build sets of those tickets. And also your performers that you are building, that you are drafting actually. So each of us is dealt a hand of cards, and we're going to offer one up to everybody else.
One at a time.
One at a time. Here's the catch. You are going to put your offer inside your little circus box, and you are going to offer them. And they look sort of like I guess they sort of remind me of like the coffins in Die of the Dead.
Yeah, they definitely remind me of that.
And so there are basically 2 forms of currency in this game. You've got coins, and you've got your tickets that you use to build sets. Mm-hmm. And here's one big catch. You can't make change. If you have a gold piece, it's worth 3. A silver's worth 2, and a copper's worth 1. And you are going to put those coins as you have them. If you really want something, maybe you'll put in a 3 coin, or a pair of 1s, or a single 2, or a ticket, or a ticket of a certain color. Like you'll have tickets for Paris, or tickets for Tokyo, or tickets for Rome, or tickets for Prague, or tickets for somewhere. But you're trying to collect individual different colors of tickets, and then you want to have the most of sets of tickets, and
extra points,
like the most tickets for Paris to get bonus points. So, but you can use those to get those performers. Here's the catch with the auction mechanic. However, is that if I'm offering up a card and I've got bids from everyone must bid at least 1 coin. So I look at one person's bid and I see if I want it. Or I can take what's behind door number 2 or 3. And I will give that back to Steph and maybe take Susan's. And look at Susan's. Maybe it's worse. Maybe it's better. Do I go for James's? Or do I take Susan's? Well, if I give up Susan's and I look at James's, I don't have to take James's even. I could give it up.
And
giving up all of my coins
card.
And whatever, but nobody gets the card and I get nothing for it. And that's the currency that I'm going to have to use. So I probably want to get something for it. But if I let you just have it for 1 coin, maybe I've given you a bunch of points.
Yeah.
And I think that that's really what makes this game work and might actually be better with more plays, I think.
I think it plays up to like 8 people
So
or
although
10 or something. And the more people you have, the more sellers you have at a given time. So if you put out a card, and Michael puts out a card, everybody else can put their money in front of me.
And that's why it doesn't
Michael.
work for 2-player.
Yeah, you can't do a 2-player.
Can't do this 2-player.
But with 4 players, you only have 1 seller. With 5, you'll start having 2, and then maybe more with that.
Right.
So it could get really interesting.
And see, although this game is number 10 on my list, it really has the potential to move up higher.
That's true. It could get better.
So I think that really makes this game work.
It did feel
I was
different,
actually trying to get rid of tickets.
Okay.
And sometimes just people would not take the tickets because they had what I was offering and they weren't collecting more.
Yeah.
Or they didn't have what I was offering and weren't wanting tickets. Because I had a card that said if I have only tickets from one location, I get some big number of points.
Okay.
And so, but everyone's like, why are you getting rid of all your tickets? I got reasons. That's points for me. So, I think
that's pretty good.
Yeah, I think that there's only up to go for that
Dan
one.
said it's by Fi Duty.
Oh, is it? Okay. Yeah, I really, it was a surprise. It was a good surprise because I hadn't heard anything about it. And there it is. So Dreadful Circus.
Dragons was good too.
From Portal. Yeah.
That was also by Fi Duty. He's like, I haven't played many by Fi Duty except just Dragons. I'm like, oh yeah, I still have Dragons. Cool.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really good too. Like, I didn't make my list because it's like right below it somewhere, like right below it. But I think it could be really cool. It did feel different.
So it was on your edge.
Yeah.
I guess edge of your top 10.
Yeah. Definitely.
So, yeah, I think there were a lot of them that could have hit that 10 slot, but I was like, you know what? This does something different than the others.
If we can play it on the stream, we might be able to manipulate it where Michael controls
if
people,
I can control 3 slots for you guys, if you guys are interested in playing it, I will try to control 3 players worth of offers to offer to.
It could be difficult though,
Steph.
just because it's cards and stuff.
Yeah. Plus, I would have to be like, okay, Dr. Sign, Dan is offering you 2 coins, and then
that'd be so much. Oh yeah.
So it might be difficult, but I mean, I would love to play it.
It could. I would
We're
like
gonna
to
think
show
about
it, but yeah, we'll think about it.
We'll think about
how
it.
we could make it work. But yeah, that was a good number 10.
Yeah.
My number 10 is the Almanac Dragon Road.
Well, hey, that's my number 9, so let's go ahead and knock out your number 10 and my number 9 all at once.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah.
We played Crystal Peaks,
which is the
like
sequel.
a few months ago.
Now, you don't have to have played Dragon Road in order to play Crystal Peaks.
No.
They are separate games, similar mechanics.
Yeah.
Same
if you
sort
know
of
how to
universe.
play one of them, you basically know how to play
Absolutely,
the other one.
absolutely. It's just more mini games.
Yeah.
Like where all the map pages are mini games.
Different.
And it's different mini games. Now,
we ran into some questionable mechanics.
More than we did with Crystal Peaks, and we played a prototype of Crystal Peaks,
right.
which could have still been changed.
So.
Dragon Road has already been established, and yet there were many more questions we had with this.
Yeah, so probably more ambiguities.
Ambiguities, yeah.
With some of the rules and what we were encountering with our...
Yeah, it was like there was one thing where, okay, give this gnome dude acts like a worker. Put him on somewhere in your caravan, put his bedroll there, that's where he's going to sleep. Okay, fine, that's good. We got an extra worker for the rest of that match and beyond. Well, what happens with he is a worker. He says he's treated like a worker, but he's not a worker. Well, then when there's questions about when you put a worker of a certain color in this area, one of your workers, do you have to keep track of that for these workers that are not your color? Are they considered your worker? Are they your workers, or are they just considered a worker or your worker or your color worker? And that really got ambiguous.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm limited to one of my workers in this row. Well, what about this gnome? The geek doesn't have the answers to that.
No, nobody had asked. I'm like,
nobody had asked. How could you not ask?
Nobody asked this, but
people had gone to. You had to have tested this, or somebody has to encounter that path. I mean, this isn't like a weird zigzag path on the Dragon Road. This is like a normal.
Yeah, I mean it. You hit it early, and then you have these workers for the rest of the game.
Yeah, and then the next two maps had very big ambiguities
because of this.
And it's like the next path, which branches into two. One of those two paths, we don't know if the other path is ambiguous, but the one we followed was. Half the time you're going to hit that path, and then a half of those times you're going to keep hitting the path that we went to next.
Right, but I mean, so. Even with this, I still like the game enough to have it on my list, and I think
and I agree.
What's going on in the game is really interesting in general. So I really appreciate the different mini games and the progression of the game and how it's always different, and it's often surprising because you think you might know what's going to come up, but then you're like, "What? This is not what I needed at all." Like,
yeah, sometimes you'll go for strength, and you don't need guard strength.
Sure.
Because
we don't have encounters that need it or whatever.
Right.
And so there's lots of different ways to do well in this game, which I like, and there's different strategies. So I think the overall feeling of the game is really good, but there's some minor issues with the execution of some of the mini games.
I don't think it might have ended up being rated higher without those minor things. Now that said, it still makes our top 10.
That's right.
Just like I think, and Crystal Peaks, I think was like number 4 or 5 on my top 10 in a really competitive month.
Yeah.
So not saying anything bad about Dragon Road, just it could have been higher. Still worth picking up, I think. So if you enjoy Dragon Road, get Crystal Peaks. If you enjoyed Crystal Peaks, get Dragon Road. Both are worth getting, especially if you like variety. I like expansions, and although this is not an expansion, it does increase playability of this system.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then the bridge will come out, which I
forgot about that.
Of these 2 books. So that's cool too.
Where you can do the whole thing. Yeah. I don't know if I want a huge path of that, but maybe there's something that like, you can go to 9 of Dragon Road, but that takes you to 14 of Crystal Peaks.
Yeah, I think that's what happens.
And that will make it. That'll make it
even
much more. It doesn't make it longer, but it makes it a different path. And I think that is what you really want. Hey, something I did on map 2, Crystal Peaks, can interface with 17 of Dragon Road.
I think that's what will happen.
I think so, and I hope so.
Yeah, so that could be
I forgot about that. That's good.
I had my first live play of Nidavellir. Oh, excellent.
Was it even better than on BGA? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's nothing like the feeling of the live game in your hands. Right. And that's what a lot of publishers need to understand, is that you are not going to lose the farm by putting out your game on digital format. Yes, there will be people who only play in digital that are like, yeah, I don't need to buy the physical game. But there are, for every one of those, I think there is at least one person who will end up wanting your game.
Because they're playing it and then they want it.
And the former will not ever buy the game, and the latter would not have found your game if not for the digital. So,
yeah.
Digital is a pale substitute of the real game. Yeah, so that's really good. That's really good. Really strong words from Alex. Yeah.
Nice.
Like it.
Well, that was... So, Almanac was my number 10.
My number 9. So now you're number 9.
Oh. Okay, my number 9.
One I have not played.
One you have not played. It's called Travel Over. Thank you, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
He taught me how to play this one. It's a roll and write, and you're basically filling in the map of Japan with numbers that are being rolled.
Oh, that is Japan, isn't it? I see.
I believe so.
I'm looking at the screen.
Yeah. So it's almost like a race to fill in these different areas, but you're trying to get a lot of different numbers in the areas, and you're trying to fill them up fast and do other minor goals. So I thought it was like a really neat puzzle. I like these kind of like puzzly roll and write type of games. So this one really works.
So I see a lot of numbers in a grid. How is it different from rolling Japan? Are you supposed to like put them in groups, or are you supposed to not?
Basically, if it's a 5 that I'm using, I have to use 5 spaces. It cannot touch other 5s.
I see the 2s and I see the 6s.
So you're trying to like get different numbers in a region for a bigger variety bonus. But you're also trying to meet these different goals that are pre-selected for the game to fill in the different boxes. So it's a race to get to those spaces. And
so if you leave one space filled, hopefully you get a 1 to put your little 1 in that space.
So you can always put an X, but an X doesn't count as a unique number. You just fill it in. But yeah.
But yeah, now that you say that a 4 is 4 spaces, now I see 4 spaces with 4 in it that are contiguous. Yes. I see that now.
Dan says it's vaguely similar to Rolling Japan, but it has a bit more going on. Yeah.
Good, because I think Rolling Japan is just okay. I think I would probably like Travel Over quite a bit more.
Yeah, there's more to think about. And Dan was like, "Yep, finished. I filled everything." And I'm like, "What? I'm not even close." If you look at my board, you're like see all these different like empty spaces. I'm like, I needed like just so close. But no, I mean it's really cool. So it's definitely a roll and write I would like to play again.
Yep. Sounds good.
Yeah.
My number 8.
Ooh, you're number 8.
Yep. So that was your 9, yes.
Yes.
My number 8 is Roll Camera. So that's the one that comes in the nice, the nice clapboard box, right? This is a co-op game, so if you like co-ops, this is probably for you. And we are basically trying to shoot a movie. All the different scenes, and here you have to come in under budget and on time. Like that ever happens, right? So you've got to carefully manage all of these, the budget and time factor, trying to spend your money as wisely as possible and in as short a time as possible. But you're going to roll dice, and basically it's dice worker placement. You're going to assign these dice to certain places cooperatively, and you don't often find cooperative dice worker placement.
No, that's why I really like it too.
Right. You've got different scenes that you can shoot, and different scenes will cost you a certain amount of money in order to do it. Problem is, you have to have the scene set up a certain way to set up a certain scene. Well, and you have to spend workers to draft those tiles. You have to spend workers to rotate those tiles if they've already been placed. You have to spend the dice as workers as your crew. If you need a photographer, you better have rolled the camera and put that camera on that spot. If you need a lighting in a scene, you better have a light put in the right spot. And so no one has cranked a movie camera in like 100 years.
I just did
That's why you did. But this is the weird thing. Everyone knows what you're talking about, right?
That's true.
When you do this with a phone, who has done this with a phone in like 15 years, right? This is not what a phone does anymore. Usually it's, but who does that? Hi, hello. But this is what a smartphone looks like these days. Am I right?
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
but if I do this or say I call someone up, no one does this. Who does this? It's rotary dial. No one does this. Call someone. It's like no. They don't even do this anymore. You know what they do? Call Little Caesar's Pizza. That's what they'll do. Am I right?
Yes.
Do you know what the phone number to these places are anymore? No, you hit the button. You don't know.
Don't judge me, Dan. But yeah, no, it's really cool. There's an expansion coming to Kickstarter soon, so if I can like check that out and show it off, I will like to do that because I think.
Oh, we can. I mean, it's on our list to show, isn't it?
We already showed it.
Oh no, we did show it. That's right.
We
showed it. No. And we did the rainbow objective that game.
Did, yeah.
And where you have to have a red. So there's red, yellow, green, blue, and purple scenes that are like angry scenes and sad scenes and comedy scenes and whatever, right? Well, because we're the rainbow, we had to put them in rainbow order. Am I right? But sometimes you'll have a movie where you want emotional scenes. You want to focus on emotional, but if you have comedy, it's going to take away from your quality rating. So you're trying to get the quality of your movie to be beyond mediocre, hopefully epic performance, award-winning performance, or you want it to be so bad it's good, right? You know, movies like that. So I think it might be too easy to push it that direction. But I'm interested in trying it. We haven't tried it. We thought about it on the Game on Stream, but we're like, no, Oscar worthy. Let's go.
It would probably be really difficult to do. Really,
I would like to try it because I think you really have to try to push it down.
It's probably really hard, to do that.
But you can't have it sort of, kind of. You got to like push it, right? Hey, Kanye. Oh, it's on my list of back this time around.
It's fun. It's really good.
It's a whole lot of fun. So
make sure to get the clapper box because that's just fun.
Do you have it close by? Probably not. Yeah, it like opens up like this. It's really cool.
Did I put it on the shelf right up there?
I don't see it.
It's right there.
Oh yeah, it is right there.
It's
I
like
can
right
get
there.
it. It's like right there. Look at this cool box. This is like fantastic. And the game. Whoops! I almost got you. The game comes in a film reel. All right. Everything you need comes in, except for the game board, comes in this nice insert. So, action.
It's fun, yeah.
Roll Camera, by King Bean.
Yes.
Check it out.
Yes, definitely. Another one. I don't think that one's on Kickstarter yet, or it's going to be really soon with the expansion for Roll Camera. But another one on Kickstarter is Verdant.
Verdant, yes.
Verdant. That's my number 8.
Your number 8. This one barely missed my list.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I think it falls in line with Calico and Cascadia, which is the same publisher of Flat Out Games, but they're all a little bit different in their own way. I know you had some concerns about some of the things going on, and I know Dan had some of to make the game a little bit less.
Big shock, Dan and
Michael
myself lining up on opinions on things that work.
For me, it's interesting because you're placing
not a big shock.
You're placing the plants in the different rooms, and you're trying to match up the different combos that you can get with the colored plant and the colored room, and set collection for items in the rooms. And you're just trying to collect verdancy for your plants to score them at the end of the game for points. So I think there's a lot of nice things going on in this game.
And things you don't draft get colored up with thumbs, and then you can get those thumbs to give yourself a lot more powers. Yeah. I like games like this and Cascadia. I think I prefer how Cascadia does it a little better. though, I think it's got that main drafting structure, that same drafting structure, but different games attached to it from both sides. One more of a tile and bit placement, and one more of a card in a grid placement. And I think it might scratch the same itch, is my concern.
Oh, yeah. I think they all fall into the same category well enough, 45-minute quick game with some thinking involved, for placing things on your in your own area. So that's the same thing for Calico. It's the same thing for Cascadia. You're doing all of this in your own general area, thinking about the overall picture and how you can get points for the different things you're placing. So yeah, it gives me a similar feeling for all of them, even though there are slightly different mechanics going on.
Right.
I still probably like Calico the best of the three. I know you haven't even.
I haven't even played Calico, so yeah, I'd love.
I actually don't think it would be your favorite, just because it's like.
So Cascadia would probably be my favorite. You think?
I think so, because you're not really into abstracts, and Calico is pretty much all abstract.
Though there are a lot of abstracts I do like. So,
yeah, I think you should play it. But I think all three games are pretty solid. And
I agree.
Worthy of, being in my collection, because they offer something a little bit different for each of them. So.
And ours was a prototype. It's not even a full established, a pre-production version. I don't think was it? Was it? I can't remember.
Yeah, it was. I have to send it back. It's a prototype.
So it is a early prototype. So yeah.
Yeah, because it's on Kickstarter right now. So.
So definitely worth checking out, I think.
Yeah.
Just because it missed my list doesn't mean I disliked it. I did enjoy it. And obviously we played it on the stream, so...
Yes. And they all have great solo modes, too.
Dan says, I think Cascadia is probably the best of the three, but Calico is the most adorable. Well, I would probably agree with that, considering Dan and I line up a whole bunch on these.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kanya also likes Cascadia best. That said, like I say, if you like Cascadia... You're probably going to like Verdant too, so certainly worth
at least to some extent
checking out.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely worth checking out either way. All right, what's your number 7?
My number 7 is Rescuing Robin Hood.
Oh,
another co-op. I mean, I like co-ops, so
I know.
Yeah. So in Rescuing Robin Hood, you are going through several days of trying to rescue Robin Hood. Well, in order to do that, the sheriff has captured Robin, right? And so we've got to go assemble our band of merry men, trying to get all of the villagers together. And each of the villagers has certain skills, but you have to be able to defeat the guards first. Well, you start off with your little basic. It's sort of like a little bit of a deck builder, I think.
Yeah.
Where you will take your band of merry men and it's not just men, it's men, merry villagers. Yes. You're trying to go with the whole Robin Hood story.
Yeah, you could have a cat. I had a cat.
You could have a cat. It's like
cat in my band.
But so I had Little John, I guess, and he is all strength. So he wants strength things. And you were more agility.
I was a Maid Marian.
Yeah. And so we were trying to, I would be like, okay, I'm going to try to collect some of the strength. You're trying to draft these villagers cooperatively to where they can all work together and then defeat the guards to get like what I would call silver level and bronze, silver and gold level
difficulties.
Villagers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not just the difficulties, but the bronze.
The soldiers are those levels as well.
No, the soldiers, the soldiers are either the normal soldiers or the red super soldiers.
Difficult.
Right?
Yeah.
The black normal.
That's right,
yeah. I think they're just black cards and red cards.
It might be
for like
gray
normal
and red,
gray and red, something
like
yeah.
That.
But you get the normal soldiers and then you get the super soldiers. Here's the thing: only the top soldier is face up.
Yes, you don't
so
know.
and it's got his stats on it, whether it is he's good at strength or good at spotting you or whatever, and you're either trying to beat him up by force or you are trying to outwit him, or you're trying to sneak past him, or whatever, right?
Those three.
Well,
Those are the three stats.
They all have different ways of doing it. So with battle, you're fighting the whole line, however long that line is, of soldiers. Turn them all up, see if you beat them all. Simple as that. With agility, I believe you will... No, without wit, you are going to look at the top one and see if you can beat him, and then you decide whether you want to press your luck and keep going, or stop and defeat all of those guards. But if you ever don't defeat them, you're done, and that's where it stops. Those guards that were turned face up, you get to keep them face up. There was the last one where you're sneaking around. Choose a number of cards individually, and if some are face down, flip them up. Do you have enough to beat all of their perception scores? If so, defeat those guards. But they can be scattered amongst. Mm-hmm. So 3 different ways of handling a stack of guards.
You're using your band's values, and you have your total value, and you can use up to 2 of them on your
2
turn.
of those 3.
So
and then you have a luck stat.
Yes.
The luck stat is basically can be filled. It can be filled to any of the other 3 stats. But if I do strength one time, I can't do strength again. Now, but if I'm first player, I can give all of my strength remaining to Steph.
It's true.
I can't give my other stats. That's the catch. And I can give the rest of my luck to her.
Yeah.
And then she does her 2 actions, and then we see did we rescue people?
Right. And so
then we draft those.
You're trying to get these people into your mix of your pool of cards that you can go into the final battle, if you will,
with the strongest and best of your villagers.
And you want to specialize in 2 things.
Yes,
ideally. So
that's what I think.
Yeah, and so you're trying to get these people to work together, because you're getting bonuses at the bottom of the people too that will help you boost the different things that you're doing as well.
But you don't want to just focus on those things. You also want a little bit of the other stuff, because there was one time I was like, I can't beat this stuff with strength. I have just enough outwit to take off 3 or 4 of these guys, and then hopefully you can get the rest. And that's how we dealt with a lot of these stats. Yeah. We actually would love to play this for you guys on stream.
Oh, we're definitely going to play it on stream. So, it's fantastic. I think it's a really good game. So
yeah. So maybe we'll see that on your list later on.
It's going to be on my list.
Okay, well, we'll talk about that more.
Obviously
going to be on my list. Your number 7?
Oh, my number 7 is Ship Shape.
Ship Shape.
Ship Shape.
This was different.
Oh, I love
and
that.
And barely missed my list. It's a lot of those could have hit my top, my right all around 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 could have all hit there, and this one barely missed. This is different though. This is really innovative.
I agree, and that's why it's on my list. I haven't really played anything like it. It has a mechanic that I really like, which is simultaneous card selection, where everybody's playing face down. So you're trying to think, okay, what does Michael what might he want? And then do I want to try and beat him? Do I remember the cards he's played so I can know I'm going to beat him?
Oh, but if we match...
Yeah, then we have to do it again, and so it's like, okay.
But I like what they did with the 2-player version.
Yeah, so
it's solo and 2-player.
Yeah, normally you're gonna need more people, but because there is a dummy player with 2 people, and you basically are just randomly drawing cards for them, and they might win the game if all works out.
That's the catch. They don't rotate their tiles,
oh my God.
So you're looking into this stack of tiles. And only 3 of the 9 spaces, a 3x3 grid, only 3 of those spaces have things on them. The rest of them are cut out holes. And you can see through those holes. What's coming up next?
You can kind of see. But the more people playing, the higher the stack of tiles is. And so you can't really go that deep with saying, okay, next round I might be able to get that to cover that. But yeah, there's a lot. It's really interesting. And this is a definite keeper for me. I think it's like totally innovative and different. Actually, we played a bunch of really different games this month, which has been really great. Just to see the different mechanics coming out still. I'm like, I thought I've seen it all, but no, I have not seen something like this. So that really worked for me.
Yep. So I think that there are different ways of collecting all of your gold. You can get it by gold. You can get it by cannons. You can get it by chests. Contraband. And if you have the most contraband, you get nothing. But I think that is really innovative. It's like if you don't take any cannons, you're just giving me more of your gold. Because if I got 7 cannons and you have none, I'm taking 7 gold.
Yeah, that's not good.
And that's not from you, but I'm taking 7 extra gold. So, yeah.
No, it's great. It's a great pirate game.
And you love the pirate theme too.
Yeah,
so
yeah. It's even better because of that.
Dan says ship shape sounds cool, but got no attention when it came out, seems like. And that is really interesting. We even played it on stream.
It came out 2 years, 3 years ago. I don't even know. 2 years ago? I don't know.
But yeah, I'm surprised that it didn't get any attention.
Yeah.
And hopefully...
I didn't have a relationship with Calliope at the time.
Oh.
But now I do, so that's cool. So we can.
And so we're totally willing to drum this up.
Well,
so.
yeah, no, but it's not even that. I like to praise good games, and that's a really good game. So. Yeah,
and I think it is innovative enough that it's not super heavy. It's super light, but it has that innovative mechanic of being able to look and to see what sort of things are out there. But if you're trying to get the middle tile of the next 3, you're gonna maybe go with a middle number, and if me and somebody else collides, you're stuck taking the top tile.
One.
And that's happened.
Well, I wanted the top tile, and we tie, and then the other guy gets him.
Well, the funniest thing is that it's like, and so we go up for the next one, and Steph could have done with the middle tile, and then I ended up, she didn't have the next highest card to beat it. She just couldn't get. She knew she was dead even more than. Yeah, so I was like, she was like, oh, because she knew she was done at that point. We need Senor Azul to do that.
This is the paw up here.
Oh, it's cheap from online retailers.
Yeah,
so,
it's probably because it just...
yeah, if
it didn't get the buzz when it came out. I remember when it came out, but it was just like... I didn't know much about it. I just saw that it came out, but I didn't really see much else about it.
So that's a hidden gem, I think
worth
worth picking up.
It's different.
At a discount price. It's different. It's innovative. That's what I was trying to get at. It's light. It's not going to do anything... majorly spectacular from a depth perspective, but it does something innovative, and I like it for that. So
yeah, totally.
Certainly worth keeping around.
Definitely good choices to be made.
I think so too. My number 6 is Camel Up Off Season. This is not a Camel Up expansion. I can't believe how many people have said. Hey, I thought this was just an expansion. No, it's not an expansion. And a lot of people thought Aries Expedition is a Terraforming Mars expansion. So. It is not a Terraforming Mars expansion. This is a standalone game.
With the series, it's like a series.
It's in that universe.
It's in the universe, yeah.
Terraforming Mars in the same universe. So with Camel Up Off Season, you are trying to draft. It's drafting and set collection basically, but it does it with a really interesting mechanic of face up and face down things that you are bidding on.
Before you get too deep into it, Delden said I still need to play Camel Up. So just to be clear, Camel Up is a racing game with some push your luck. This is a totally different game. With
you don't have to even like Camel Up to like Camel Up Off Season, because this is that is racing, racing and patterns and whatnot. This is auctions and set collection.
Yeah.
You have a group of camels. Each camel can hold a certain thing.
Type
of good. Now, you don't have to have fruit assigned to your weak camel. You can have fruit assigned to your strong camel. Yeah. And you don't have to keep it there. You can actually change it as time goes on. But each camel can hold one sort of good. Each of those goods can then be sold. You can sell one type of good on your turn. there are certain rules for selling each of these goods. For carpets, you need carpets of different colors. For fruits, you sell your cheapest fruit first. I guess maybe it spoils quicker. I'm not sure. And once that is sold, only then can you sell your next most expensive fruit, etc. With pottery. You are selling sets of the same pottery. But it's always different for each of those. For dates, you are just trying to sell as many of your dates as possible in groups of 3. But here's the catch. One camel can hold 3 cards. One camel can hold 4, one can hold 5, one can hold 6. I do believe that's correct. Yep. But if you ever get your one card that makes it go over, guess what happens to your camel?
Lost
Everything
to the desert.
falls off the camel and goes in the sand and is lost.
So you push your luck.
And
it
so
didn't work out.
Steph loves auctions.
I do.
Steph loves set collections.
I do.
Steph loves pressure luck.
Oh, I do.
I am guessing this is on your list somewhere.
I don't remember. It may or may not be. I forget. But in any case,
even if not, I think it's still.
I'm glad it's on your list.
Just in case it's not on your list.
Because I do really like it.
Yes.
I think there's a lot of great things going on here. I like it more than Camel Up for me personally. Though I like Camel Up just fine. But
it is totally different. I can't even say, hey, if you like Camel Up, get Camel Up off season. No, it's totally different.
Yeah, definitely.
However, if you enjoy that desert theme, as you do, you love deserts, you love pirates. No water and water?
I know.
That's weird.
It's weird.
So you're looking to see where it is?
I'm trying to find it. Okay.
It's your number 12.
I think.
No. It's your number 13?
13.
It's your number 13.
I played a lot of games I really liked this month, so
it's been a good month for you.
It's been a really good month for me.
So, not as many games, a lot more
quality,
good games.
Yeah, that we're enjoying a lot.
A lot more of the... There's not been a whole lot of games that's like, oh no, this is not good.
Yeah.
There's not been a lot of that.
Yes.
So, yeah. Alex says, I need to pay attention to chat. It's like he's reading a light novel and watching. He had said that he likes Aries, and while you were talking about one of the games you were talking about, I typed, I played Aries last night on my all-nighter, and he totally didn't even know it was me typing, I guess.
Oh my goodness.
Because I'm usually not typing in the chat. I didn't want to interrupt what you were saying for that, so I was like...
That's fair.
But yeah, totally worth checking out Camel Up off season.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Do it.
And of course, it's quality game.
Oh, speaking of Terraforming Mars Aries Expedition, I'm finding a whole lot of Terraforming Mars people who are like, you know what? The Aries Expedition hits the spot for me.
Yeah, me
without
too.
being so much of a table hog, and it gets it in a shorter amount of time. Oh, hey, Hardboard Games.
Raiders.
Yeah, I liked actually being able to hear it on the speaker.
Welcome, Raiders.
We're doing our top 10 for September. I have just finished up my number 6, and we're actually doing a little side talk about Aries Expedition. There are some Terraforming Mars diehards that are like, okay, I like Aries Expedition, but there's no way... Wow.
Thank you, Alex, for gifting
gifting a sub in
Hardboard Games.
Sub-October? No, that's not September. Subtober.
Subtober. Close enough.
So yeah, for me, I don't think I will get rid of Terraforming Mars. However, if I'm going to play one, I'm more likely to pick up Aries Expedition because I love the card synergies much, 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 much more than anything you do on the map or the objective trophy, whatever they're called.
Yeah, the objectives.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know.
Much, much more than the map.
Yeah. I really like Aries Expedition, so.
You can't use all the 3D tiles with Aries. No. Yeah, but we don't have the 3D tiles.
It's fine,
so.
I don't have it. Don't need it. Yeah.
The only thing I hate about Aries is I want the oxygen health trackers to be bigger.
Hard board games.
I don't want the trackers to be bigger because they are already too big for the track. Oh, you mean you want the tracks to be bigger, not the tracker cube? Yeah, the tracker cube like spills over the sides of each of the lines. I want the tracker to be smaller or the track to be bigger. Hopefully that's what you mean. Yeah, we agree. So, yeah.
Hopefully, Heart Board Games, you're having fun on your stream. Thank you so much for raiding in here and hanging out with us tonight.
Yeah. On a sort of abbreviated night since we had a local convention to go to.
Yeah.
So, your number 6.
Oh, okay. My number 6 is Vivid Memories.
This game is beautiful.
It's beautiful. I love it. So it's fairly abstract, so I understand why it is not probably on your list.
It was just on the outside. Like I said, it's a really not like, we only played 30, 40 new games this month.
Yeah.
So not a lot of games, but there were a really lot of strong ones, especially all clustered down in that
at the Gen Con
release. Not the top range, but the good enough to keep range.
Yeah.
And this is one of those that just barely missed my list.
So,
despite it being abstract. I don't like abstracts, and I do like it.
Let me talk about it.
Well, yeah, I don't have to say anything about it once I say, they know I don't like abstracts.
Right.
Yet I do enjoy this game.
Okay.
Tell us about it.
So the game is you're drafting these little tokens, these little pieces, shards or something. Oh my god, stop making it about you. It's not about you.
I'm telling myself to be quiet.
Uh-huh. And you're putting them on your board to try and form links from sections of your board to other sections of your board with matching colors. And if you can make the link, then you get to score it. And if you can make several links in the same network of tiles, then you could score all of the exits. And so you're trying to make these vivid memories on the outer skirts of your player board. If you clear out a tile in the middle when you're drafting these shards, you'll collect that tile. And this is what I was doing in the game the whole time. I was getting all these tiles because he wasn't clearing anything.
We did 2 totally different strategies.
And I'm like, I'd have all these tiles, and it was like almost like a hindrance because I had to use these tiles abilities, and I didn't necessarily want to.
I was actually forcing them on her because I knew she had to do something with them.
But it ended up working out for me because they were helpful at the end. But even still, Michael won because you had fulfilled your really solid vivid memory sections for 18 points, and I had nothing filled in.
So yeah, 3 different colors of memories.
Yeah,
but they're grouped the same group. Now, it's really hard.
It's hard to do.
Each space can hold 3 different memory crystals, right? But once they're there, they don't go away until they make their connection. Right. But you can't put a new memory cluster there unless the space is empty.
You're gonna need abilities to move or change.
Or you draft 1.
If
you draft one crystal, you can move
things.
But then you're drafting 1 crystal. I was doing that a lot.
You were doing that a lot.
And moving them. And so I stayed on half my board. Everyone has their own board. Right?
Yes.
And I was on only half of my board and like barely reaching out to the other side. She was all over the place, making huge links and everything. That scores you points in a different way.
Yes.
So you don't have to play the same way, and I like that.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of abstract games where you can go 2 different paths and it still work. I think they did a really good job of balancing this many points if you stay close. This many points if you go far. And it's about equal. They did a really good job with that, I think.
Yeah, and so we'll play this on stream sometime. I'll make him play. And we'll show it off. Because I think it's totally a cool game. And I think a lot of people will like it. Especially the gamers who enjoy games like Calico, as we were talking about earlier. It kind of gives me a similar, like, puzzly feeling where you're trying to place everything perfectly, figure out the perfect patterns to form. So it gives me that same sense of, I gotta accomplish this on my board, which I like. I like planning and
in a limited number of turns. It's so hard.
Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard. but it's fun.
And when you're drafting from two different directions on these cards. You can take one crystal. You can take two crystals of the same color.
Or three
colors. Totally different crystals of three different colors. Here's the catch. They can only come from one side or the other.
Of the drafting line.
And if you uncover a card, that's the card you take. And I was like, well, if I can't have that card, I will force her to take this card.
I don't want it.
Then you don't want it.
And it was hurtful because you're covering up these different actions that are generic on your player board to take these memory actions, which may or may not be good for you. And then once you take the action of the memory, you flip it over, and then you have to meet the requirements of the memory.
But those are such good bonus points.
They're really good bonus points, but if you don't have it on your board, it's just sitting on your spot.
It sits there because if you can't complete them...
It's clogging up.
If you can't complete them... You do not get the power anymore, and you do not get the bonus points until you get that memory cluster, at least one of them that matches. So I was sort of choking you.
It was painful, but I managed to score them by the end. But it was just like, I need other actions.
The one thing I find a little funny is that you called this game vivid for so long.
It is vivid. It will forever be vivid.
And not vivid memories. Why? Because the word vivid is like this big on the box. And memories is like memories.
But it's not only that. It's memories that is in a faint font that you can
vivid
barely
is like
even see it.
V-I-V-I-D.
It will forever be vivid in my mind. So, yeah, it's really cool. So that was my number 6.
Yeah, and like I say, you barely missed my list. And it's surprising because, I don't like it. I think the thing that makes it not as much a dry, boring abstract to me is those objective cards. Getting them, using the power and flipping it over and then scoring for it. I think that makes it a little bit different. And the auctioning, not auctioning, but drafting rather. Mm-hmm. I think makes it a little different. So, yep, that's your number 6, right?
Yeah, my number 6.
My number 5, World of Warcraft, Wrath of the Lich King is part of the pandemic system.
It's so good.
So, wow, it's a lot of co-ops. This
a lot of co-ops. That's probably why we like them. Cause
we like co-ops.
Yeah, we do.
So, Wrath of World of Warcraft, Wrath of the Lich King, is obviously you're going to have orcs or little creatures spawn as you. I don't even know what the creatures are. I should know what those are. They will spawn like the viruses do.
It's the abominable.
No, those are the bigger ones.
Oh.
Abominations.
Cultist? No, I don't know.
Anyway, you're going to get baddies that spawn out in places in the world a lot like the viruses do. And you will have to eliminate them like you do with the viruses and pandemic by basically going out and taking your characters, each with different abilities, and going around and eliminating them before they cause too much of a problem. Whenever you get 3 of these baddies in one location and a 4th is going to spawn, it does not have an outbreak like a virus does. What happens? You get this big abomination coming after you, and unlike the baddies don't chase after you. The abominations will come after you, and if it hits your spot, 1 point of life gone.
It reminds me most of the Reign of Cthulhu pandemic game, yes, where those guys are coming at you.
Right.
So that's where they got that mechanic, I think.
And it reminds me a lot of Defenders of the Realm, where you've got those, where you've got the bad guys marching in on the main city in the middle of the map. But this is slightly different because these guys aren't marching towards a part of a map. They're just marching towards you and trying to eliminate you. Oh, hey, did I mention, as your character, you actually have health points that can be eliminated. And that's probably why it reminds you of a lot of Cthulhu.
But you can go insane with the Cthulhu.
Exactly, yeah. You've got your sanity points with that.
Yes.
And you can't let that get too out of whack.
I think it definitely has the most overlap with that pandemic game that I've played.
But that's one of your favorites too. So
yeah, no. I actually think this one is probably my favorite in the system, other than the Legacy games.
And you've never played World of Warcraft. I've never played World of Warcraft,
no, yeah.
but I have played a ton of computer games.
Yeah.
I managed to avoid the whole monthly fee sort of type of MMORPG type games.
Yeah.
No,
I think it's really cool because you're going on these quests, and it's not necessarily you need 5 cards to cure the disease, right? You don't need
disease.
You don't need the 5 cards. You need a wide range of abilities to push the quest tracks and managing all that, managing the people, managing where the Lich King is sitting. So you don't.
These quest tracks remind me a little bit about one of the things in Horrified, where you're trying to like move the mummies. I think the mummy's curse or something. Yeah. You're trying to move it along using different colors.
Yeah.
I think it's got a little bit of that type of feel on these quest tracks.
Yeah.
But the quest tracks are hard to do, and you'll lose life as you do them.
Yeah.
And as you do them, it's good if you can have help, but with 2 players, you gotta have one person on one side of the map and one person on the other. Well, hey, if the Lich is in your region, it's even harder to deal with. And that Lich can all of a sudden just, if an epidemic happens, basically that's the Lich going to a new region and spawning things out. Now, there's one sort of a misprinting of something on the card. Somebody is trying to convince me, oh no, it's not misprinted at all. Yes, it is absolutely misprinted. The card says something completely different than the rules. Follow the rules on this. Treat it like normal pandemic, where you draw the one off the bottom, you put the 3 baddies on, and I believe an abomination. I can't remember. Or just an abomination. I can't. Oh yeah, bring it up to 3 cultists. Put an abomination on. Move the Lich to that area. The card says then discard this card. No, don't discard this card. Shuffle that in to the locations deck. Put that on top like you normally do, and then draw your normal end of turn stuff. But yeah, if you solve the three quests in the 3 areas, then the Lich King's castle opens up. You can attack the Lich King in his castle and do that final quest. I see lots of expansions in this future.
I do too, and I like that every character has a unique ability, much like Pandemic, because you do have an ability there too. But it's just a little bit different. Reroll a die. I mean, there's dice.
There's dice, yeah.
So there's a lot of good things. I like it. I think they did a really good job making it be very different from Pandemic while feeling exactly like Pandemic. I don't know how they did it, but they did it. So I have to, hand it to them. I wasn't excited about the theme, but I think the game is really good. Yeah.
Hey, we can recap the list real quick. My number 10.
We'll do it at the end.
Oh, do it at the end?
Yeah, we'll just run through it at
the end. Near the end, so before we do our number 1. You almost hit me.
Well, don't do it now. We'll do it.
I wanted to catch up. Our friends at Heart Board Games. Okay. No,
you're behind.
You're number 5.
We'll do it at the end, though.
You're number 5.
My number 5 is Roll Camera.
She's rolling her camera.
Dan.
Dan.
Cooperative dice worker placement. We talked about it a little bit before because it was already on your list. I think it's fantastic. I'm looking forward to playing the expansion. There's problems you have to take care of. There's scenes you have to shoot. You have to just get the whole movie in working order before you run out of money, the budget, or days. And it's the pressure is on. We almost lost the first.
We almost lost, yeah.
The first game. So.
But we didn't. We got award-winning performance.
We did, but we're on the last day. If we needed another day, we would have lost. So
is it time for me to shoot my scene?
What's your scene?
I can act.
What's your scene?
I can sing. I don't know. I'm like an actor or something.
Oh, yeah? I thought you were a blue blob.
Not just a blue blob.
Yeah?
I'm a world-class shobu player. I'm undefeated. What are you touching? What are you doing to my arm?
Time Tyler says, I got Roll Camera Clipper Box Edition. Me too. It's so great. Love it. Clapper box.
So I figured it was time for my scene.
Okay.
There.
It's a great scene. Okay, great.
Okay.
Cool.
Action! What else?
That's it.
Oh, okay. My number 4 is Merchant's Cove.
Number 4. Michael's number 4.
All right, go away, Senor Azul. Bye. So, Merchant's Cove, I think, carries asymmetric gameplay to its maximum, I think. We're each merchants, we are trying to create the best things for all of the fighters and bards and wizards and what else? Fighters, wizards is blue.
Pirate.
Rogues. No, not rogues. Bards are green.
Blacksmith.
Yellow royalty. You're trying to, or nobles. You're trying to create those guys, and then the rogues. But you're not trying to help.
Okay, I got you now.
You're trying to create all of the best things for these adventurers. But in order to do that, you're going to do it in entirely different ways. The captain is going to go questing for it. The alchemist is going to brew up potions for it. The blacksmith is going to create armor and weapons for them. The chronomancer is going to go grab relics and artifacts from time to sell to them. Each one of them is going to do worker placement things in an entirely different way, but create the same sort of goods at the same sort of prices, so it makes everything come together and be balanced without having to be balanced on the
player abilities and
player itself.
What they're doing.
Now, I understand the innkeeper has been nerfed a little bit in order to bring it down to the same level because people were exploiting one particular ability. I understand this sort of thing happens in play, especially with as asymmetric of a game as this is. It's easy for one thing to be slightly out of whack. That's fine.
I love the captain. Tyrell says the captain was difficult for him. I loved the captain. It's a lot of push your luck because you're exploring the seas looking for loot, and you might get unlucky with the colors and the treasures that pop up.
Yeah, because you might have
pretty lucky, but
like you might go out and you get some large red treasure, and no red adventurers going to or only one adventurer
they don't need the
going
red,
to the large artifact space. So yeah, red adventurers want red gear, either small or large. Some are looking just for small, some are looking just for large, some are going to the black market in order to get either. Mm-hmm. And you are going to score based on the number of those adventurers that reach the shore. Hey, you get to influence which adventurers pop onto those boats because they know you are here creating goods for them. So you can sort of influence things and make boats come into certain docks. I think it is a really solid worker placement game.
Yeah.
So
I thought it was pretty cool. We did show it on the stream, so if you're interested in learning about that, you can check out our YouTube video.
We were the blacksmith and the alchemist in that game. We were the captain and the chronomancer on our first game.
I liked playing the blacksmith. I got to use dice and stuff.
And y'all might see it again when we play the expansions because we do have the Oracle, Innkeeper,
Dragon,
Dragon Slayer,
Rancher.
Dragon Rancher.
I want to play that one.
Yeah, that's totally you. And you're gonna have wear my dragon shirt. Oh look, you have a dragon right now.
He's
I was like, yeah.
That's Toothless, of course. He's the cutest dragon of them all.
So
yeah, no, it was a good choice. Good number 4.
Hey, Legends. You're number 4.
Oh, my number 4. Clash of Cultures Monumental Edition,
which we couldn't talk about for the longest time.
For a long time,
yeah.
But we played it on the stream the other day. Got tons of views on YouTube. People want to see this game.
Really? Wow, nice.
Yeah, so that's exciting. People are really excited for it. I think.
So Clash of Cultures, the expansion, has been out of print forever, and everyone wanted it, and it was going for hundreds of dollars, right?
Yeah.
Or at least over $100. Hey, Monumental Edition comes with the expansion.
Yes.
And with the components that can be split out, so you can just play base if that's what you prefer.
So that's what we've played a couple times
yes.
now. Michael had never played Clash of Cultures before, which I thought was surprising. It's been out for a while.
Well, you played the best Civ game.
Well,
I mean, what else do you need?
It's still surprising because you do enjoy the Civ games in general.
I do.
Not to, you might not like it, but it's still usually worth trying a Civ game or.
No, actually, I end up liking Civ games.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
through the ages.
Yeah.
There's only one that I just don't care for.
All right, so Clash of Cultures. They did a great job remaking this. There's been a lot of like little updates to. Stop. They did a lot of updates to the actual advances on your player board. If you want to know the full extent of all of the changes, there is a great thread on BGG where somebody wrote all of the changes. The biggest thing I could think of for changing was when you get a wonder, you get it into your personal hand instead of to a general tableau, which I think is way much
like a wonder pool.
100 times better.
Yeah. Wonder pool, bad. This clearly better.
And they have they all have abilities now, which is nice as well. So it gives you an ongoing ability. But yeah, for the most part, it feels very much the same as Clash of Cultures. But there are minor changes to it. So I think a lot of people will really like this.
People are commenting on the screen. Yeah, a lot of comments on here. I do want Clash of Cultures ever since it came out the first time. Alex is almost surprised this isn't number one. So
we played a lot of great games. Like I'm saying,
we played a lot.
We played a lot of great games. So another thing for me is I won't play this 4-player. That last time I played Clash of Cultures maybe 5 years ago or something.
You might play it 3. You will not play it 4.
I won't play it 4 because the last time I played, it was like 20 minutes in between my turns. I'm like, I can't do that again. I just can't. I will. You can't judge the state of the board at all before your next turn. So you basically
because barbarians could pop out.
Things could happen. People move in. Do other things. Who knows? You can't judge and decide what you're going to do until it's your turn. So it gives it a lot of downtime.
Though it's weird, though. I mean, you can't like go off and play another game real quick or turns in another game on another table real quick and then come back because someone's event could end up influencing you to the point where, or someone could attack you and you'd have to be like, oh, hey, I want to spend this to do that, whatever.
Yeah.
Events can pop up that where you've got to be like, oh, I'm supposed to decide whether I want to participate in this event, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so all of that's happening. I much prefer it with 2 people. So the fact that we've played it a few times now, I think next time we play, we'll definitely include the expansion for leaders and other buildings and abilities. I think it's a great all-in-one box. So.
Though, I mean, I'm not certain it needs the expansion because, now, not saying I'm not going to add the expansion. If you know me, I love expansions.
Yeah.
That said, this game is really enjoyable, even without the expansion. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. I've played it more times than I think I played the expansion once. But
I did not want to overwhelm the stream with my second play with extra stuff. Then I'm like, how do these war elephants really figure in with this stuff? How can I use this leader ability? Blah blah blah. I just wanted to play it. This is what we know. We can go ahead and just play it in. Like this. So without slowing down the stream for you guys.
So the thing is, you can also use part of the expansion. Like you could just use the leaders and not the buildings, or you could just use the buildings, not the leaders. But I think what's interesting is actually the leader cards because they give you these different
civilizations.
The civilization leader abilities. They give the asymmetry for players, so you can like do different things without always doing the same kind of opening move, so to speak. And
if you know me, I like asymmetry.
Well, of course. I think you'll like the leaders anyway.
You were not as big of an asymmetric fan as I was. You were much more on the symmetric side of the house. when I first
like,
met you.
Yeah. I like asymmetry too, though, if it's not crazy.
Yeah. Well, Merchant's Cove is about as crazy as you can get with asymmetry, yet it works. It's hard to describe if you've not played it before.
It's not as crazy as
It's
Root.
not as crazy as you might
or
think.
Vast. Because we're all doing the same.
We're all doing the same things,
in
different ways. Exactly.
But that's what, like, Root is totally different. Everybody is totally different rule sets.
I want to play Root.
Yeah, it's not really my jam, but it's other people's jam. You got to play with 4 too. So
do I have to?
That's the player count for Root.
Totally understand.
So yes, So that was my number what?
Number 4. That was your number 4.
Clash of Cultures. Do it. Play it.
Monumental Edition.
Great.
By WizKids. Yes.
Yep.
So yeah. My number 3 is something that you have already played.
Yep.
And I just now, this last month, played.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Galaxy Trucker 2021.
The new Galaxy Trucker.
Because when you played this, the second, was it your first time at the gathering that you had played it? Or was that your second time?
Nope,
that was your first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was out of that game. I was playing a game of Nemesis or something. Something was up where I was not in the game. And it I don't think that if you have the existing Galaxy Trucker, you need to rush out and get this. That said, they've streamlined a lot of things in Galaxy Trucker 2021. They've made so in the original you use the same lap system, no matter whether it is round 1 or round 3. Well, in round 1, you're not going to get a whole lot of cards in order to try to lap somebody. Oh, hey, they've made the track smaller in round 1. So I think that's a good change.
Yeah.
They've taken away the insurance thing where you can only lose a maximum of 5 pieces. No, they've got it to where
your whole ship's going down, you lose lap pieces.
Yeah, if your ship goes, but that needs to be part of the fun of it. If your ship's not falling apart, it's not as much fun, I think. You want your ship to somewhat fall apart. So I think that is probably a good thing. The one concern I have is that you're not... they did what I'm about to talk about in order to simplify, streamline, and smooth out a lot of processes, including the setup process. One of the things in the base game, in the original game, is to take out a number of tiles based on the player count. And in this version, they don't do that. It almost makes everything available at all times. In the older one, sometimes you take out an abnormal number of lasers, and the rest of the world, will not have as many lasers, and so those will start coming at a premium. That's not going to happen in 2021. But there's also not any expansions in this 2021. They do have the purple and brown aliens. They don't have the teal aliens. They do have a lot of the different things. Oh, the ship boards. They're not 3 different player boards anymore. That's one board, level 1, level 2, level 3. And that is interesting.
That was great.
That it does lower the footprint, because Galaxy Trucker. I mean, I've got 2 boxes of Galaxy Trucker right over there, and the stuff in the bit box.
I mean, I think they did a great job just streamlining it and just like making it
much more accessible to new players. I think
so too. And they added they added one thing, basically the awards, the gold awards that you have to defend your title.
Yes.
Which is interesting.
But they replaced the beauty contest.
The beauty contest. How nice is your ship?
How nice is your ship? So yeah, I'm not sure. Could you adapt your old edition to this? Well, you couldn't do the awards, I don't think, unless you did print them out and do paste ups of something.
Yeah.
I'm not sure you could do the smaller track very easily unless you just said, okay, once you hit here, you're going to immediately jump to here and keep going. You can easily eliminate the insurance rule very easily, but the ships 1, 2, and 3 look pretty much like ships 1, 2, and 3 in the base game.
Yeah, they're the same.
So
it's a smaller board.
Just the smaller board and some streamlining. Other than that, it plays pretty much the same.
Yeah, I mean, so it's interesting because on the original board for lapping people, you're just not going to do it.
You're not going to do it on turn 1.
I actually did it in the game we played, and I knocked him out of the round because I lapped him. So that actually happened in the new ones. That did make a big difference.
A little bit gratifying to have your massive engines and
actually did open something space. About it, yeah.
But all the other rules are still there. Like all the timer rules are still there. All the looking at the cards, 3 batches of cards are still there. Are the cards the same? I'm not certain, but they look the same. The epidemic card is still there. The open space cards are still there. The different planets to get gear from is still there. I believe the I can't remember what it's called, but where the lowest amount of lasers and the lowest amount of engines and the lowest amount of crew are going to get penalized. I think those are still there. All of those old familiar elements are there. Now, do you need to purchase it if you have the old edition?
Maybe not.
Not, but it does certainly make things easier for the newer players.
I think we'll probably end up keeping both is what's going to happen.
Well, that's interesting because we don't often keep both editions of things, but I think this one, barely has enough that we will, we might not have gone out and sought it out to buy, but now that we have both, I don't think we're going to get rid of either. So, and definitely don't get rid of your old edition.
You have lots of room, Dan.
Because there are no expansions for this new version, and I'm not certain you could or could not integrate the old expansions with. I really haven't compared the tiles side by side.
I don't know.
So I'm not sure whether they would be noticeable.
Yeah.
Certainly something to consider. But definitely worth checking out. Galaxy Trucker 2021 from Check Games.
Your number 3.
My number 3.
My number 3 is Rescuing Robin Hood.
Hey.
We already talked about it.
We already talked about it. We have a lot of overlap this
yeah. Well, so
month.
I really like this one. Obviously
like it more than me. Yeah.
It has a really interesting, like you said, deck building mechanic that you're like, I have all these wonderful people. Who do I keep?
Because
you
have to.
I have like 12 people, and I'm like.
So from day 1 to day 2, you have to take out 4 of your guys, and from day 2 to day 3, you've got to take out like 8 of your guys.
Like you have to narrow it down to 4. Your final battle people.
Oh, and the final battle, you'll never think you're gonna finish it because the guard length is this long.
So
oh, and by the way,
oh my God,
a tower you've got to beat. I was like.
All right, I think I'll go first, and I can give you all my extra strength that I'm not gonna need, and so that really helped. But
and we barely did it.
Yeah, I mean, so we barely did it, but it's like, okay, I love the choices of that. Just narrowing it down. That was just so fun. I'm like, I want them all. They're all great. But not only that, but pushing your luck to try and be like, I think I can take on these 4 guys. Let's go. Like.
And you were the push your luck girl.
I like to push my luck. So for me, this is really fun. And the fact that it's cooperative is even better. So I'm not pushing my luck and like, he's like, you can maybe do it. Let me talk reason into you for why you should do this instead. But, we can discuss
Yeah,
things.
well, like we disagreed on, oh no, I think that's a bad plan. And you're like, no, do this. And ultimately, we followed her plan. And it worked out. It could have gone horribly wrong, but it worked out.
But the thing is, if it didn't work out, it would have been, I mean, if you didn't try, I think it would have been more painful for us because we would have had more people at the end. And then
the first day we gave up on one because there's no way we could do it.
I think we could do it.
There's no way we could do it. Now the second day is where we had the disagreement, and you were right. We actually did end up getting all 3 of them. But it was a tight rope.
It was hard, but that's what's fun about it, right? So you're like, okay.
Was this on Kickstarter?
It was a Kickstarter, yes. I think its official release is at the end of this month, so we'll play it closer to the end of the month, I think. But yeah, no, I this is totally right up my alley. Like I really enjoyed this one, so I'm excited to play it again.
Co-op and although it could suffer from alpha gamer issues, but ultimately you're just trying to convince.
You do what you want.
You do what you want. I mean, that's the thing with any of these games. You know, anybody who complains about alpha gamering, don't listen to them. Just do what you want.
Carmelo says you can order it at the Castillo Game website.
Oh, cool. And it's the thing, is it Castillo or Castillo? I don't know.
Not sure.
So.
But yeah, Rescuing Robin Hood. I think that
Rescuing Robin Hood.
Rescuing Robin Hood.
Number 3.
Really great. Number 3.
My number 2 is Picture Perfect. I know that you absolutely adore Picture Perfect.
Yeah, you put all of like my favorite games lower on your list. Then you're like ruining all of my great favorites of the month.
Who ruined my favorite of the month?
Why, it wasn't me.
It wasn't you. No.
Picture Perfect.
Picture Perfect.
Another game that's like super unique that we've played this month.
This game, there are certain games that come out and you're like, why hasn't a game like this been created before? It's rather simple in how it does things. This could have been done plenty of times before. Why has no one done this before? And it works. It's elegant and innovative. I think there are certain awards given out for innovative game mechanisms. I don't know. I find this to be innovative because at the end you actually take a picture and different guests want different things. And if one guest wants to block the face of another one, you've got to make sure that guest's face is blocked by that other face. I mean, you have to. That is really interesting. There's a little bit of memory aspect to where when you're looking at the guest preferences, which I can look at and Steph cannot, and she can't see my layout. This guest wants to be in the back row, not next to any men. All right, well, I have to try to remember that and make that happen. Oh, and I've accidentally put a man next to them. That's not going to fulfill the requirement.
As long as you have the people and their envelopes in front of you, you can like look at them. But you know, there's a mechanic where you reveal an event, which kind of swaps.
And you're going to swap. I'm going to give you 2 guys. You're going to give me 2 guys.
Something like
I'm going to look at these. Now I find out that the guy in the wheelchair doesn't want to stand next to women, but the woman in the flowy dress wants to stand next to the guy in the wheelchair. I've got to fulfill one of these and not the other. And there's even within one person's thing, like the little boy, he wants to stand in the back away from the table, but also next to the table. You can't do them both.
You won't be able to do everything
perfectly. You won't be able to. No. So you focus on a few.
And try
and hold on to them, and then make one of them a VIP and hope that your opponent did not do anything for this character.
Well, it's interesting you say VIP because everybody has a VIP card, and that will basically score a character twice.
Double, yes.
And so if you hold on to a card, basically the whole game, a character card, then you can make a VIP, knowing Michael hasn't seen this character.
I've had the maid that's sticking at her. There's a maid who sticks at her tongue like this, and this. Yes, Steph hasn't seen her. I might make her the VIP.
And so if you don't hit anything with a person, you're going to lose 3 points. 3 points. So you're trying to at least get one requirement that they want. So in order to score positive points.
Yeah, at least one will give you 1 point. 2 of their preferences will give you 3. 3 of them will give you 6. But if you score 0 of them, it's -3.
You don't have to put them on your board.
Yeah, and not putting them on the board
Valid.
gives you 0, which is valid.
If you don't know what they're doing.
You better not put them on there.
Or there was a character that I'm like, I can't do any of these, so I know I'm going to lose it, so you're not going on the board.
Yeah. And especially if they don't need to be next to somebody for somebody else's requirements.
Right.
Like, the black gentleman wants to be next to the girl with the flowy, or with the yellow dress, for example. But I don't know anything about the yellow dress girl. Do I put her on to satisfy the black gentleman? Or do I not put her on just in case she's like Steph's VIP and I totally mess her up? Hey, Pandemonium. Glad to see you guys here. Pandemonium Institute.
Hello, Raiders.
Hello, everybody. We're in our top 10. We're at near the end of our top 10. We will run down the list here in a minute. Hey.
Hey. Hopefully you guys were having fun. Tell us what you've played in the chat. We're just talking. Michael's talking about his number 2 favorite game that he
Picture
learned
Perfect.
in September.
Like I say, it is really innovative.
Picture Perfect.
It's simple.
Fantastic.
Get some guest portfolios, find out their preferences, place them on your mat, and you've got 6 or 7 rounds of trading those out and building your own picture. What do you call it? Picture pose. It's like where you're trying to arrange them around this table, and can you satisfy everybody? It's innovative. Why has this not been done before? Yeah. We got the deluxe bits from Arcane Wonders, and they've been really good to us, and
we
the deluxe bits are fantastic.
Yeah,
and to the point where we're like, you know what? In case we play with 3 or 4 players, or 5 or 6, because the expansion's coming
out, yeah.
Send us 4 more.
So
2 more deluxe sets will give you 4 more players worth. Each deluxe set is 2 players worth of. It turns your cardboard tokens into the clear plastic standees. Totally worth it. I would totally recommend it. And they've got these little. They've got this plastic film over. You got to take them off to make them look a whole lot nicer.
Just
the
stands.
Stands. Because they're like blue otherwise.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I can't get into it. Anyway, Picture Perfect, fantastic game. Certainly worthy of number 2 on my list.
Yeah.
What's your number 2?
My number 2 is WoW.
Wow.
World of Warcraft, Wrath of the Lich.
Not lick.
King the Lich. Licked. I don't know.
Lich.
Anyway, loved
I got
it.
an itch.
It was your number 5.
My number 5.
So we talked about it quite a bit, but it's a new pandemic system game.
Do not lick the Lich.
It does the pandemic system really well. I think it's really different, but feels very similar, but feeling very different at the same time.
If you like the pandemic, the bones of the pandemic structure,
yes,
and you enjoy the fantasy setting, even if you're not a World of Warcraft fan, if you enjoy fantasy settings, you will enjoy this.
Exactly. I think
it is different enough.
Yeah, because you're going on quests. You're fulfilling the cures differently by having a quest and these different abilities. You have a health system. There's lots of different things going on here that you have to manage, and I really, really appreciated this one. So I think it's surprising. I liked it a lot.
Yep.
Probably my favorite in the pandemic series besides the Legacies. Maybe even better than one of the Legacies.
Wow.
I like it a lot.
So, what's your favorite, do you think? Cthulhu or Iberia?
Other than this one?
Is this... Yeah. What do you think it would be?
I haven't played them all either, so I can't...
But of the ones you've played.
Of the ones... Iberia...
Because we haven't played Rising Tide.
I haven't played that one, yeah.
Right.
I think...
Because you liked Iberia a lot.
Oh, I like Iberia a lot. So, and I also like Cthulhu a lot, too.
Right.
So they have their own differences and niceness that I like. But, I don't know. I like... they're all better than regular base Pandemic.
Agreed.
So, I'd rather play any of them other than the base Pandemic.
Right. Now, that's not to say base Pandemic is bad. It's just that
I played it a bunch.
it's like, okay, this Pandemic is now vanilla ice cream.
Yeah.
When you were a kid, vanilla ice cream, yeah, it's great. You know, whenever you want a little bit of soft serve vanilla, yeah, it's fine. But
yeah,
hey, if I could get this, you know, chocolate caramel swirl, yeah, give me some of that. You know what I'm saying? So
that's basically what. Yeah.
That's
what I think,
that's basically it.
Yeah.
So
cool.
Hey, time for my number one. Let's do a rundown of my top 10 before we hit my number one. My number 10 was Dreadful Circus. All right. Now, number 9, Almanac Dragon Road. Since we've already played Crystal Peaks, which is the second in the series, Dragon Road being the first of the series.
Yes.
Roll Camera was my number 8, which is yours. You're higher up. It's the number 7, Rescuing Robin Hood. My number 6, Camel Up Off Season. Not an expansion for Camel Up. It is a standalone game. Totally different mechanics even. My number 5 was your number 2, World of Warcraft, Wrath of the Lich King. My number 4 was Merchant's Cove. My number 3, Galaxy Trucker 2021, which you had already played a previous month. So the absence of it from your list should not shock people.
Yeah.
Because it was on your previous month's list. My number 2 was Picture Perfect.
Yes.
All right, do yours.
No, do your number
my
one.
number 1, Clash of Cultures Monumental Edition. We've already talked a lot about it.
I knew it would be.
Yeah. So I love Civ games. Advanced Civ is... I have 2 number 10s. Battlestar Galactica and Advanced Civilization. Which Mega Civ I've given a 9, but it might end up being 10 because it's basically the same game. I love Nations. I love Through the Ages. Both the original and the new story, which is it's really almost identical to me. So I love Civ building 4X sort of games. I mean, I in my early 20s, I played a lot of original Computer Civilization and Master of Magic and Master of Orion and all of these tech tree build up your Civ. You know, here are your little colonies that you make better and better and better and sending out your warriors and everything. Love these 4X sort of games. And this hits a lot of those spots. Hex-based movement. Though the war aspect does not dominate, so it is dudes on a map. And you stay within that tech tree sort of feel and build up your civilization that way. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Since we've already talked a lot about the gameplay of it, we don't have to go into a lot of that. But I probably would not mind it 4 players. I know it's not as great for you, but I think the downtime would get to be annoying. You can keep that in mind.
People, but I'm probably gonna sit that one out.
Keep that in mind, but yeah, I highly recommend playing it at 2 and 3 players. It totally works for 2 players.
Yeah, it does.
And you don't have to go to war. We didn't go to war that time. That might have actually been to your detriment, but me not going to war with you was good for me.
When we played on stream, it was so close.
And it was totally different. It was totally different.
I won by 0.5.
0.5.
It was so close.
It was so close. And and the good thing is that when we do totally different things and come up that close, to me, that's a good game.
I got incredibly lucky at the end, though.
Doesn't matter.
It
doesn't matter if you were lucky. That is within the parameters of the game.
Yeah, for sure.
Had you not had the earthquake, I would have
done other things.
I would not have done I would not have had a huge, massive victory, but I would have had a decent victory. That earthquake saved you, but that is well within the scope of the game. I do not feel cheated out of the game or the win. I think
somebody, on the other hand, probably would feel cheated out of that.
Why?
Because
these cards happen. It's disaster mitigation.
You, and I'm not saying it's me. I'm saying some people might not like
I'm saying to whoever that some people are out there, why get upset? It's disaster mitigation. These things happen. If I had done... at the end of the stream, I even talked about several things I could have done differently that would have given me 1 extra point, 2 extra points, 4 extra points. That would have given me the win. I can't blame the earthquake. Yeah, I can blame my decision making and everything else. It's not the earthquake that lost me the game. It's all the factors. Mm-hmm. Okay, so like, I'll give you one example. Battlestar Galactica. At the end, a lot of times it will come down, hey, we have one more jump to make. We have no more population left to spare. If we roll a 7 or an 8, we don't lose the population and we win. If we roll a 1 through 6, we will lose. Oh, hey, wait, we have a card that increases the die roll by 2. Okay, now it's a 50-50 shot. The game comes down to a 50-50 coin flip. Well, why not just flip a coin? No, you've eliminated, by reducing it to that 1 die roll, you've eliminated every other decision that was made in the entirety of this game. It's not down to a die roll. It's the fact that every decision you make in the game makes it come down to that die roll, and that makes it interesting. Had your other decisions not happened, that die roll wouldn't have happened, and you probably would have lost. That's how I feel about that earthquake. That earthquake did not lose me that game, and that's what makes all the rest of the game excellent, in my opinion. So,
good.
That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Okay.
Your top 10.
My top 10. Number 10. Almanac the Dragon Road. Really cool book system.
Yeah, Games Night app. We do this once a month. These are not games that came out this month. This is games that...
Cuts me off all the time.
I'm talking to the chat. Before you get into your top 10...
I literally just said number 10, but that's fine.
Before you get into your top 10, we're going to explain how you do your top 10 so they understand this is not games that came out last month. These are not games that are brand new. These are sometimes games that have been out for years and years, but this is what you learned and what I learned in September.
Yeah, I mean, I only learned 40 in September, but that's still enough, and they were all really pretty great, actually. A lot of them are solid games. More so than August, which I learned 90-something games, and that was not a
That was a poor
selection.
month.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Sorry.
Okay. So, running down my top 10, my number 10 was Almanac, the Dragon Road. I thought it was solid. We've played the Crystal Peaks and really enjoyed that. I knew I would probably enjoy this one as well because it has a similar system. So that was really cool. My number 9, Travel Over, a roll and write game. Dan Todd, I don't know if you can get it anywhere. I would like a copy of it, but I don't know where to get it. But you fill in the board and it's puzzly and fun. It's my type of game. My number 8 was Verdant, which is the next in the flat out line of games. You'd know Calico, Cascadia, now Verdant. Has a similar overall feeling while being its own thing and pretty unique. I like that. Ship Shape was a unique filler type game where you are filling in your crates of your boat. You're pirating and gathering loot and the goods and all the stuff. It had a really unique feeling while playing simultaneous cards. Totally my type of game. Quite enjoyed that one. Probably went under the radar a few years ago, so it's good to play some of those as well. Which one am I at now? What number am I at?
You don't even have numbers on there.
I don't know. The next one is Vivid Memories. It's a new game coming out from...
I think that's your 6.
Floodgate. Yes, 6. Let's go back. I don't know, man.
10, 9, 8, 7.
6.
It is your number 6.
Vivid Memories. Good call. Great little abstract tile placement game and trying to make connections. A lot of thinking, planning to do. My number 5 was Roll Camera. Damn. Cooperative dice worker placement game. And really cool. My number 4, Clash of Cultures Monumental Edition. We talked a lot about it. Nice Civ game. Number 3, Rescuing Robin Hood. Cooperative, sort of deck building, push your luck. Really cool. I had a great time. I like pushing my luck, as you know.
Oh, yeah.
My number 2, WoW. World of Warcraft, Wrath of the Lich King.
Lich.
Lich King.
Don't lick the Lich.
Great new addition to the pandemic system. Check it out. And
Check
my
it
number
out.
1 is obviously Picture Perfect. Fantastic theme. Fantastic placement
What?
of people.
I'm your photographer.
Your number 2. My number 1 by far is...
By far.
And it's not that far, but I rate it... Let's say I rate it a 9, and I rate...
Lick the Lich should be a game.
I rate the World of Warcraft game an 8, and I rate Picture Perfect a 9. It will probably be right up there with my favorite games for the year. I love this game. I will want to play this game at any opportunity I can. I want to teach everybody. It's just so different and so interesting to see the different people and trying to get them to place. And we played it with 4 people too. That was a much different experience than with 2 people.
Then with 2 people, yeah.
And
so I think it's different with... You need to play it with different player counts.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
I can't... So the 5 and 6 player expansion is coming out. I can't wait to play it
just to see.
With 5 and 6 to see how different it is.
So the thing with 4 people is I had 6 people sitting out at the end of the game. I didn't know anything about them. I'm like, I don't even want to place them. But I did happen to see 3 of the VIPs, and I focused on that. I somehow won the game because I was able to focus on those
Well, you ended up, you saw them, and I didn't let you see mine at all.
No,
I was like, I am not giving up my VIP to
how to play.
any of you jokers. Mine was the old man with the weird, he's like standing like this with the beard.
Yeah.
I'm not letting any of you see this old man.
There is a mechanic for that, though. There's an event where you can pick any one character to see. So somebody could have picked him.
However, and then they didn't.
If they didn't, or you can wait till last minute to put in the VIP, and then sure. But it's interesting because I focused on my knowledge of the few people I saw, and I still had 6 people sitting out, but I managed to come back from it. What?
Is it time?
No. I want to keep talking about Picture Perfect. I love it. Everybody needs to play it. I'm totally all about this game. So fun.
Someone Scott Pizio wants to see my number 1.
Oh, what's your... Okay, so do you have a top 10, Azul?
But we did mine already.
Well, no, you...
Oh, it's time for a recap.
Let's recap.
Okay, and I played 1 game in September, and
was it your favorite?
Do you know what it was?
Was it your favorite?
Oh, it had to be my favorite. I played 1 game. Because that's all
doesn't mean it was your favorite.
That's all you let me play.
No, that's not true.
That's all you want me to play. I'm always around for the games and you won't play with me.
It was also his least favorite. Oh, okay.
It was also, to be fair.
That makes sense.
But it was, the only game I played was Shobu.
And it was your favorite, number 1.
And who did I beat?
You beat me.
Yes. Let the record show.
What record?
The record. The stats record. In the phone over here.
Oh. Okay.
So, Senor Azul won Shobu.
So it was his favorite game.
Well, it has to be because it was the only game.
Oh. So
next month I will have a much bigger top 10.
Oh, really? It's like 2 games.
2 games. With 200% more Senor Azul.
But the question is, Senor Azul, did you like Shobu?
It's okay. I like abstracts more than this guy does.
Okay. All right. That's fair. Because you're better at them.
Yes.
Okay. That makes sense.
Of course I'm better at him than he is.
So it was our top 10 and your top 1.
Top 1.
Okay.
No, Shobu wasn't in my top 10.
I know.
Oh, that list was our top 10.
Was our top 10 and Mr. Azul's top 1.
Well, it would have been my top 10, except...
you didn't learn enough.
No, because you don't let me play.
Oh.
Best mood award is or Azul is my
we've already learned a whole bunch of games in October. So we already starting our list for October.
I already know one game that's not on there, but we won't talk about that on the top 10.
No, we won't. But yeah, stay tuned for that. We have a lot to learn this month, and
a lot to show too on the stream, because there are some games that we couldn't even talk about until this month.
That's right.
So yeah, they're going to be coming on the stream. Join us on Sundays and Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Central, usually. I think we're going to have some time off in the middle of October.
Right.
And November might be rough because we've got
we're
Lobster Trap
and
Board Game Geek Fall.
We got a lot of games to learn in the next couple months. So
yes,
it's exciting times.
Exciting times because it's the middle of our 4 convention months of 2020.
I know.
2021 as the entire year all on this month. These 4 months, everything. Hello.
Oh my goodness. Well, on that hi time roller, we are going to be right back.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.
We'll be right back.